casting directors don't have a job without every actor in this town. And I'll tell you that nobody has a job. Actors are the center of the freaking universe. And I think they need to take a little bit more of their power back. I think it's happening now. And I think they're recognizing that. And unfortunately, I'm the only big mouth in town. Me and D. Weiss and Steven Salamonovich and a few other casting directors. But for the most part, actors have to fend for themselves. And I feel bad for them because they're the reason that I have a career, that I have a profession, that I have my house and my car and my garden and my cute cats and whatever. But that having been said, I think we need to go back to a world before workshops existed. And I remember that. I was there 32 years ago when I started. There were no such thing as a workshop. Casting directors got invited to go see a group of actors for a sandwich and a soda, and they got to see 6 or 8 or 10 or a dozen great actors in an evening at the church rec room or the local multi-purpose room that they'd rent. And I got to see some great actors. They got to meet a casting director, and we all got to be on each other's radar, and it didn't cost anybody a penny. What happened with me is I learned so much more about how to find talent, how to uncover talent, how to recognize talent as an assistant or in the beginning as an intern by doing those kinds of things. And then I would go to acting classes, and I would go to theater, and I would go to every graduating showcase on the planet. I would watch every TV show. My boss said to me when I first started casting, she said, "You're going to go out and see every play in town, and you're going to see some really bad actors, but you're going to see a couple good ones, and I want to know who they are. You're going to go to every acting class in town that invites you, and you're going to watch them do their scenes, and you're going to see lots of bad actors, but you're going to see those 2 or 3 gems, the diamonds amidst the coal, and I want to know who they are. You're going to go watch every movie and watch every TV show, and you're going to see lots of crappy actors, but you're going to see a couple really great ones, and we need to know who they are because that makes us better casting directors, and it helps us to compete better, and it makes us look like better artists because we become better artists by the people that we know." And the problem is nowadays with workshops is that all of those things have been replaced by workshops. A casting assistant or a casting coordinator or an intern or an associate, they may go see theater once in a while, but as actors that they just don't go the way they used to. That you try to invite somebody to come see your show, and one person shows up, and or no people show up from any casting office in town, and they can say they're busy and they can say they're working on 6 pilots, but isn't it funny how they're really busy until they get paid $300, and then they're not so busy to meet 20 actors in over 2 or 3 hours in an evening. The same time it would take them to go see a really good play or a bad play with some good actors. So I think it needs to go back to that model on some level. And I can't make casting directors do anything. I can't say to my brothers and sisters in the casting community, you need to go out and be more accessible. You need to be nicer people. You need to open your doors to more actors. They do the business the way they want to do their business. I can only lead by example. I can only tell people what I do and what we do in our office. And I did 2 generals today. D. Weiss, my partner, did 2 generals today in a separate location. We go see more theater. We go see more acting classes. We go see more graduating showcases. Thankfully, this is graduating showcase season, so I've got about a dozen lined up. And it makes us better casting directors because we bring those people in, and then my director says to me, "Where did you find that guy?" Or "Where did she come from?" Or "What rock did you find that guy?" That's our perk. That's our joy when we get when we have our bosses tell us what a great job we did and how we found somebody that they had never even met before, even seen before. So I think the model can be that again. But there has to be a concerted effort. I mean, all of the casting community, all of the agent and talent rep community, all the acting community has to agree that the workshops are not the solution to finding great talent. They're solution to making casting directors a nice second income and to sort of fool actors into believing they're doing something proactive for their career. it's all about creating genuine relationships. And I tell this to people every single day, is that you can pay everybody you want, but are you creating genuine relationships that are going to be, an actor told me today, just called me before this interview, and she said, I just wanted to tell you a story. I went in to read for a blah, blah, blah casting director, and after I read for her, she said, and I did a workshop with her a couple of months ago, she said, what a great job. I'm so surprised I've never met you before. Wait, no, I paid to meet you in a workshop 2 months ago. That's not how she got called in. She got called in because her agent did a good job and got her on the, and it was a luck of the draw. But that's not the way you develop real relationships in workshops. I tell people, developing a genuine relationship with a casting assistant or associate in a workshop is like going to a whorehouse to find your next wife. It could happen, but probably not. It's like you don't pay people to love you. You don't pay people to appreciate you. You maybe pay people for access, and sometimes they do. But the last thing, if I were an actor, the last thing I want to be called would be a workshop actor. And there's a stigma there.